Saints Row is a series that is bursting with secrets. Developer Volition has hidden little details and Easter eggs throughout each of the mainline titles in this bombastic selection of games to entice the player into the great unknown, or more likely just some dungeon.
Some of these are in-game, some are tidbits surrounding the greater development of the series itself, but these are 10 things you didn't know about Saints Row.
Number 10, Chuck Nick's books. Throughout the city of Stillwater in the first Saints Row, you will come across buildings labeled Chuck Nick's Books. This is a reference to Chuck Palahniuk, the writer of The Invention of Sound, and most famously, Fight Club.
And always remember, the first rule of Fight Club is to have fun and be yourself.
Number 9, the Merman. In Saints Row 2, if you head to the eastern side of the hotels and marina district, scrawled on a billboard is the warning, "Beware the Merman," along with a small note describing the creature as flippered and dangerous. The note also explains that the being has been sighted off the shores of the marina. A random NPC even references the creature, saying,
"Legend has it there's a half man, half fish who lives down here."
Although the painted monster depicts a half-man, half-shark-like hybrid, the real merman turns out to be Brian Merman, a member of the Saints Row 2 art team. Number 8, missing ships.
In Saints Row the Third, if you enter any of the cargo ships in-game, you'll find a list of missing ships. These range from real-life disappearances to fictional ships the developers love. The list goes as follows.
The Bechimo. This is a reference to the USS Bechimo, a real-life ghost ship that supposedly was abandoned off the coast of Alaska in 1931. It was sighted multiple times for decades after its abandonment, with its last sighting in 1969. HMS Seahorse. I couldn't find any information on ships named the HMS Seahorse that were lost at sea, further adding to the mystery of its addition to this list. The Axiom. This is the fictional spacecraft that the entire population of Earth lives on in the Disney Pixar film WALL-E, the USG Ishimura. Another fictional spacecraft, this time the zombie alien-infested spaceship from the Dead Space series of games, the Octavius. This is a real-life legendary ship found off the coast of Greenland in which the entire crew froze to death and were perfectly preserved. As the story goes, the captain was frozen stiff at his desk with a quill in hand, writing his captain's log, the Borealis. This is the fictional but pivotal resistance vessel in the Half-Life series, appearing in both episodes of Half-Life 2, as well as an eluded cameo in Portal 2, the Heart of Gold. This is the fictional spacecraft from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, the Mary Celeste, a real-life ship that was completely abandoned with no trace of the crew. It was later immortalized by many retellings, including a famous fictional retelling by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the USS Snook. This is a real-life US Navy submarine that was lost without a trace near the Philippines in 1945. Number 7, the Red Faction series.
There's a lot of cross-referencing and potential universe combining between the Saints Row series and Red Faction series. Volition, developer of both series, has denied any connection between the two. Just some heartfelt homages and winks towards each other.
The most major connective tissue between the two games is the Ultor Corporation. Throughout Saints Row and Saints Row 2, the Ultor Corporation rose from a smaller company that sponsored sports teams in Saints Row to a mega corporation and main antagonist in Saints Row 2. They seemingly continued their evil doings from Earth to Mars, where they were the main antagonist in the first Red Faction game. Smaller but fun tidbits that pull the worlds together are Red Planet, Red Passion, and Red Fiction used books. In Saints Row 2, a radio ad advertises the TV show Red Planet, Red Passion, a drama about a mining colony on Mars. Two of the characters in the show are Parker and Eos, both characters featured in Red Faction. Red Fiction Used Books is a used bookstore in the Somerset district in Saints Row 2 that shares the same logo and naming convention as Red Faction. One of the last major connections between the two series comes in the Gangstas in Space mission in Saints Row 3. In the final cutscene, your character will start to recite a speech and then forget his line. This speech is word for word the same as the one main character Alec Mason gives at the end of Red Faction Guerrilla. To further the link, if you chose the male 1 voice when creating your character, the lines will be said by voice actor Troy Baker, voice of Alec Mason, and some other stuff. Nothing big. Number 6, PC Projekt Red. Before becoming the powerhouse behind the Witcher series, CD Projekt Red, just known as CD Projekt in 2009, was tasked by THQ to make a port of Saints Row 2 for the PC. According to numerous reports, the port was a buggy mess on release, and due to THQ auctioning off all of its assets after going bankrupt in 2013, the source code of the PC version was thought to be completely lost. After years of being almost unplayable, in 2019, Volition stated that they had found the source code and began patching the game with Steam and mod support. Number 5, the 31 theory.
Before I begin this theory, I want to talk about the trope of arc numbers. Have you ever been watching or reading something and a certain number comes up again and again that makes you go, whoa, whoa? These are arc numbers. Arc numbers are numbers in a fictional work that pop up again and again with no contextual connection. In Saints Row, the magic number is 31, or its inverse, 13. And this is not a theory I've made up in my mind like some over-caffeinated theorist.
In Saints Row the Third, during a homie conversation, Kinsey relates the 31 theory. The 31 theory. Anything important is always connected to a 31. Nightblade Season 3, best season, aired in January, had 13 episodes.
Season 3 aired on the first month of the year, 13 episodes. 31, 13. And although this theory is stated for the first time in the third game in the series, the 31 chambers have appeared in every game. The list is long and I'm not going to read all of the references, but I'll read some as fast as possible.
Saints Row. The King Penthouse code is 3131. There are 31 discrete items in the Funky Fresh pack. There are 31 single-player achievements, and 31 wins to achieve the True Skill rank for Kingpin. Saints Row 2. There's a mission called Assault on Precinct 31, which is also a reference to the movie Assault on Precinct 13. Gap mentions his jail time was 2 years and 31 days. The news channel in-game is News 13 Stillwater. One Hitman mission has you tracking down an arsonist that has burned down 31 buildings. There are 31 taunts and compliments for your gang. Saints Row the Third. One level is called 31 Days Later, referencing 28 Days Later. Murder Brawl 31 occurs during the course of the game. The clapper at the end of the Gangstas in Space mission says that you are on take 31. And on his Saints Row website profile in real life, Johnny Gat's birthday is labeled as 1980, with his death in 2011 making him, you guessed it, 31. Saints Row 4. A new code, 1331, comes up in the mission Platforming Rift. Kinsey, who created this theory in-game, states that her planetary defense budget is $3.1 million. Zinyak refers to you as Special Prisoner 31, and when choosing a character from the customization presets, choosing option 6 mentions the 31st Amendment.
So there you go. Volition loves that good old lucky 31.
Number 4, Saints Row 2 Secret Areas.
As stated at the beginning of this video, Saints Row is a series that is bursting with secrets. This is no more apparent than in Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2 has 32 secret areas. And these aren't just randomly placed throughout the map, these are labeled in-game as explorations. And although they don't give you any reward for finding all of them, they're still technically part of the completion process. And the list is long and I'm not gonna label all of them because I've already done that too much this video, but some standouts are the developer offices, recreation of the Parthenon in Amberbrook, and the super secret area, complete with super secret sea creature.
Number 3, Secret Stash.
The most video gamey of all the secrets on this list has to be the secret stash from the first Saints Row. Similar to the Konami code, this secret grants your character superhuman abilities, namely Human Torch-style fire and superhuman strength. The way to get it is equally as cryptic as a Castlevania 2 guide.
Number 1, equip the Pimp Cane weapon, which can only be acquired by using the Pimp Cane cheat. Number 2, after midnight, start a theft in the sloppy seconds in the Saints Row district. Number 3, enter the code to the safe backwards, but be careful because the joystick cannot return to the center position or else the Easter egg won't work. Number 4, exit the safe cracking menu by pressing down on the D-pad twice. And number 5, exit the sloppy seconds through any of the doors, and the Easter egg unlock screen should trigger.
Important to note that the secret stash will still remain even if you're killed, but if you try to save or load a game, it'll disappear.
Number 2, Skydivers.
In Saints Row 2, you may see random civilians falling out of the sky. And no, this isn't an Elden Ring Skywolves reference.
The in-universe explanation for this is that the civilians skydiving all have failed parachutes. If you are standing by the open grave in the Morningwood Cemetery at the right place and right time, a body will flop from the sky and land directly in the middle of it. Number 1. Mathematical. In Saints Row III, if you head to a selection of cranes throughout Steelport, you can find an ornate sword sticking out of a box leaning up against the base. These swords are modeled after Finn's sword in Adventure Time. And not just the regular sword he wields, but specifically the sword that flies through the sky during the title card.
With each game, Saints Row has ramped up the zaniness and ludicrousness of their worlds, especially in their Easter eggs and secrets. I love how they capture the zeitgeist and cultural references of the eras that they're made in, as well as create lore and conspiracy theories within the games themselves. With the next Saints Row just around the corner, let me know what your favorite secrets are in the comments. And for everything video games, catch you next time here at GameSpot.